So I've had the OnePlus Nord for about a week or so. You can see it here. This is the first time I've really had a proper OnePlus, and my expectations of OnePlus have not been great because the only phones that I've ever used that OnePlus have had, the OnePlus 6T, which is up there in one of the worst phones that I've ever had. But this OnePlus Nord, now this is where it's different. I'd seen so much stuff that OnePlus had actually put out there on Twitter in their marketing campaign, and they marketed it like it was this massive, big flagship phone. And you know what? They've done it, and they've done it really well. First of all, I just want to talk about the unboxing of the Nord. And unboxings don't bother me in the slightest because they are just getting a phone out of a box. But with the OnePlus, the amount of stuff that you get in that box, because remember, £379 this Nord is. For the amount of stuff you get in that box for £379, it makes you feel like you're getting more than you should for that price. You get a little booklet which kind of explains the story of Nord, you get that warp charger and that red cable which stands out, but I think Dave 2D said this, I wish it was a blue cable that matched the Nord because that would be really cool. And it even comes with that clear case, which flagship phones don't even do that. And this is something that I really like. But that first thing that strikes you when you get this out of the box is that blue color. Just look at that. It looks so good. It massively stands out from everything else that there is. Once you put it in the sunlight as well and just shine it around a little bit, you start to get like different bits of blue on the back of that phone. I think the one downside maybe to this is that the back of it is glossy. It's not that matte finish that people are getting used to, but I can deal with glossy. The size of this Nord as well is like the perfect size for a phone. It's like the same form factor as the iPhone 11 Pro Max, but it's a little bit slimmer, which means it's actually easier to use with one hand. So I like having big phones, but the problem with big phones is that you can't use them one-handed. Sorry if you can hear trains out there, by the way. It's really hot and I can't have all the doors or windows closed, so just bear with me with the sound of trains. Mid-range phones are just getting better and better and better. You've got the 4A, which I want to check out at some point as well. You've got the Nord, and it makes you think, like, do you need to start spending £1,200 on a brand new big flagship phone anymore? Like I said, I've only had this phone about a week or so playing around with it, so I've not had a huge amount of time with it to see what it can do yet, but there is one thing that really irritates me on the Nord, and that is that front display. It's not that the display is bad, I think the display is actually pretty good, but it's that pill-shaped cutout in the top left. It's just a little bit big, it's just a little bit in the way. I know that notches are a big thing, especially on the iPhone, and that's what I use, but I think the hole punch cutout is the way to go, and the pill cutout is it just irritates me just a little bit, so that's not, I don't like that about the Nord. But the one thing that I really do like on the display and that comes with this phone is that 90Hz refresh rate. I am living for this 90Hz display. It's something you don't realize you want until you've got it. I actually forgot how good it was. The only time I've ever played with it was on that Galaxy S20 earlier on in the year, but now I've had it on this, and you can get it on a mid-range phone. Going to the iPhone that only has 60 Hz, it feels clunky. It doesn't feel as good and as smooth as the Nord. Of course, there's no headphone jack on the Nord. Mid-range phones are keeping hold of this, but the Nord decided to ditch it. And one thing that surprised me, I don't know whether I was expecting it or not, but I thought there'd be headphones that came in the box with this, but there isn't. So Bluetooth headphones is the only way forward, unless you've got USB-C headphones. Do they exist? I'm not sure. The Nord that I've got is like the base model. I wanted to get the base one because I think that is what most people go with, so I wanted to see what it's like. So this has got 128 gigs of storage, 8 gigs of RAM. There are a few things that seem a bit laggy with this phone. Like, most of the time it's really quick if you're switching between apps or jumping into whatever. The one thing that has been a little bit weird is the camera app, so that's been a little bit laggy and a little bit jumpy. So like, for example, I don't know if it'll happen now, but when you press it, it's just a little bit slow sometimes. It doesn't work as quickly as you'd expect it to, but it is a mid-range phone, so maybe that's one of the things that you have to just deal with if you're going to be paying £379 for a phone. Brightness is something that's been a bit irritating so far, so if you're inside and you're on full brightness, you know, brilliant, you can see everything, but it's when you go out on a day that's like this, you can see how bright it is. When you go out in a really sunny, bright day, the screen is a little bit dim. It's not great. Auto brightness isn't something that's brilliant on this Nord so far, but I want to keep checking that out. I want to check out what that battery life is like as well. So far it's been pretty good. It'll get you to the end of a day, but I want to use it a little bit more and drive it as my daily phone for the next couple of weeks. So if there's anything that you want to see in this full review of the Nord which you haven't seen anyone else do, then just let me know in the comments and I'll try and get that in that full review next week. The one thing that I've been really impressed with on this so far is the camera, and I don't want to talk loads about this in the first first impressions video because I want to take some time to have a little look at what the video's like and have a bit more of an in-depth play with photos. But I have taken some photos, and if you go over to my Twitter, you'll see some of the photos that I've taken. OnePlus retweeted it. People have been surprisingly surprised at how good the photos of this are, but I'll do a bit more of an in-depth look at the camera in that full review of this in the next couple of weeks. But so far, camera is brilliant. So that's it. That's the first impressions of the Nord. So far, I am really enjoying it. I think it's a brilliant phone, especially for that price. It's showing you what mid-range phones can do. But if you don't want to miss out on that full review, then if you hit the subscribe button, that would A, be amazing, and B, it would make sure you don't miss out on that full review, which I will do next week. Like I said, I've also been posting a few of these photos that I've been taking from the Nord over on my Twitter, so go and have a look at that and follow me over there. Make sure you like this video as well, and until next time, see you later.